All right. I'm gonna play the thing. Here we go. Sing it if you know it. A podcast right now.
Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Podcast Right Now, episode 184. Today's date, May 2nd, 2001.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, we had
Is that a ghost?
it was a guest appearance from my daughter.
Guest.
Anyways,
Ghost.
heck of an episode lined up for you. We're glad you're joining us. However that is, we do either you're live with us on Twitch or you're joining us after the fact for the audio experience,
Or on Podbean, or live audio on Podbean right now.
Sure. Live and Podbean as well. My name's John Michelle, and on the pod today we have Super Shark Johnson, Carl Jr., and TV's JG, a.k.a. Joe Concerto.
I'm not going to lie to you. If you're working out right now and you can't change the channel, good for you. If you can change the channel, I don't know if we're going to have anything for you. It seems like it could be average at best. But you're stuck with us if you're just doing your lifts and you got a guy behind you ready to catch the weights. Do your best.
Spotter. They call those spotters.
Yeah, exactly. But otherwise, I would encourage you to listen to Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys. It's a wonderful song. And
I like the Marky Mark one.
That's not what we're doing. It's not what we're doing on today's episode. We're not telling them other better things to listen to besides our podcast.
I mean, the Beach Boys they're timeless, John.
I'm not arguing that the Beach Boys aren't timeless. I'm
Do you
saying
even know any Beach Boys songs, John?
yeah, Good Vibrations, Surfing USA. Good night.
Good night.
You really do. You are going to get me arrested for a minor being.
My
on-
favorite Beach Boys song. My favorite
You hit
Beach
the
Boys
wrong
song is
button.
"Back in the USSR" by the Beatles.
That's hey,
you're in that
that's the
camp.
correct answer. That is the
No.
correct answer. He's not
Come
wrong.
on. I'm in the camp of I think the Beach Boys could have been better than the Beatles if they had continued on the same Beatles-esque path.
If they had like better management.
Right.
I agree.
More-
if they had
like
the same
more
manager
talent.
as that fat guy who looked after the New Kids on the Block, the Beach Boys would have been the biggest band on the planet.
I'm in the camp, though, that ELO are better than the Beatles. Come at me.
Electric Light Orchestra, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
On the episode today, we're going to do a little movie chat that you guys will all enjoy. We'll give you some recommendations for feature-length films that you can either stream or catch in your local Cineplex. We got a haunted house story coming from the Super Shark. Apparently, he tested the realm of the limbo and the living and saw the nether realm. Yes, he put himself in grave danger. I took a trip to the comic book shop with my beautiful daughters. They hadn't been in a while, and what they picked out for purchase might surprise you. Also, daughter stitches, more family talk. I had an injury in the family. All is well. Don't worry. Everyone's going to be fine. And we're going to get into all of that in this episode of Podcast Right Now. Make sure you check out the website. It's podcastrightnow.com for all of our links. And you guys can get on our Patreon, give us all your money. You can go over to the Twitter and you can communicate with us directly. You'll also find a Twitch link, so you can hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next live podcast. We do it every Sunday. We're glad you're with us now.
John, you didn't say what I had.
What was yours? What was your topic, Joe?
I'm bringing nothing to the table.
Joe has nothing planned for this episode. He will be reacting mostly. Joe, while I got you, I did have a question for you.
Okay.
Have
That's
you?
a statement?
Yeah.
Followed by a question.
Yeah. Here comes the question. Have you ever had sex with one of these transgendered?
I not that I know of. Maybe.
Not that you know of.
Right.
Maybe?
Right.
I feel like
I
you
don't know.
remember that.
I mean, I guess I wasn't given like a card afterwards that said you've been transgenderified. So
I just wondered. It seems like out of the group, I was trying to. No, out of the group, I was just trying to. I was wondering out of out of our group of buddies, if there was someone to, maybe find themselves in a romantic scenario with a transgender, I thought maybe it would be you. And I just had a bunch of questions because you think Kevin did maybe?
Yeah, I could see him getting in that situation and then being like, oh, well.
Might as well go with it.
What do I got to lose?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying is I think if I was, a younger man and out there with all my testosterone and not locked down by the sanctity of marriage, I think I might dabble,
Yeah.
The question is, are we talking male to female or female to male? Which one do you go with?
Male to female.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'd feel better about the me being the only penis in the room. So
yeah,
be the good way to go about it.
Okay.
I wouldn't know what to do with another penis as well.
Well, you know what to do with your own. I think you just do that to her.
I would just be like, "What are we doing? Let's go play video games." This is
right. Yeah, no, it's a
we go hang out.
Yeah, but here's the problem, man. I mean, she's got you all horned up. You know what I mean? You had a fun night of laughing and drinking, and then you get back to her place, and then you find out, whoopsie Goldberg, that's you got yourself a little. You got what I got down there.
I guess we'd flip a coin then to see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it's going that well, who knows? Who knows?
Maybe there's a connection. Maybe there's a connection outside of just the physicality, too.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe she comes from money.
That's true too. Get yourself set up with a nice new like a sugar mama.
Yeah, a sugar them.
I used to have a sugar mama. Did I ever tell you guys about when I dated that pharmacist? He'd buy me whatever I want. It was great. You guys ever have a sugar mama?
No.
Okay.
Never.
No. What do you think about that? A sugar mama? Is it shameful?
No.
Sounds hot.
When you say buy whatever you wanted, was it like from the pharmacy or like you could buy some nice Jenkos or what are you buying there?
Yeah, Joe. It was
Like
just
if you're
from
at Walmart. You can get if you're at Walmart, you can get like an action figure.
It was just
like an action figure before you leave.
Just the pharmacy. So she would get me like Pepto-Bismol, and she got me one of those cool grabber extended arm grabber thingies.
Those go first, but yeah.
Yeah, she got me one of those. She got me some some of those compression socks. Those were cool. I wore those for a while.
Why did you break things off with the sugar mama?
It was her who broke it off. Left me.
Yeah, she woke up one day.
Yeah, she was like, "Why am I buying all these compression socks for this one guy?" Yes, he's handsome, and yes, he plows me like a champion. But what am I doing? I gotta move on with my life. I have to mature. So
have you looked her up on LinkedIn? What is she doing right now? Is she better off, or
she married a guy who's older than her, and already I think had a couple kids from a previous marriage. So I think I win. I mean, as far as I think it'd be weird to have to like hang out with some kids that aren't your own flesh and blood. Ugh.
It's probably a lot of people on here that are in a familial situation like that, John.
Well, cut your losses. Get out of there. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Of course, it's cool to have a stepbrother.
He said what he said, and it came out, and I said it.
What's done is done.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I just thought I'd ask some general questions. See where you guys have where you've been. Carl, how's your sex life? We haven't checked in with you in a while.
It's been great. It's going great.
Elaborate.
I'm not going to go any further.
You got to elaborate, man. Give us some of those. Give us some of those juicy details, huh?
Like
now he's thinking no, you better not.
I'm thinking of kiss and tell.
Okay. Hell of a podcast, guys.
Yeah, you took it in a weird place.
Did I ruin it? I think I ruined the podcast. Let's do a movie. Let's do a movie chat. Let's get that out of the way. We are expecting a $1,000 dog to join us here in a little bit. We also have some.
Chirp Daily?
What's that?
Is that his name? His name is Chirp. Is it Chirp Daily?
Chirp Daily. You got it.
Okay.
Got it
cool.
right. So yeah, we're going to talk about some of the movies we've seen in the last week or so, and I think we'll start with one that Joe and I both watched, and the title of this movie is Stowaway. It can be streamed on Netflix, and I remember seeing some marketing for this on the interwebs, on the YouTubes, on the Instagrams, and I saw space, and I saw and Joel and Carl, we don't want to spoil it for you. It is pretty new, but
is it Anna Kendricks?
Anna Kendricks is in there, and then the premise is a mission to Mars launches, and lo and behold, a black man falls out of one of the one of the air shafts, and it's like, and he was knocked out, and he wakes up. He says, "What? Where am I? Well, I gotta get back home, or how do I get off here?" And it's like, "Sir, we are about 10 hours away from Earth, and we've been going full clip on these boosters." And so they got to figure out, what do you do? What do you do with this guy? Because there was an O2 scrubber, a CO2 scrubber, I believe, that was damaged in the process. And so for life support, as far as that goes, they only had enough for like 2 or 3 people after some of the damage had happened.
So much breathing. You only got so much eating.
So wait, then is the premise of the movie they basically have to decide who's not going to survive?
You got it.
Whoa, that's heavy, man.
Yeah, and so I don't think we want to spoil much. We don't want to spoil.
I'll tell you what, I'm way more into it than I was 45 seconds ago.
Well,
yeah, I'll tell you, it sounds like kind of a generic space movie until you get in there, and then they start getting heavy with like, oh, these are big decisions, and kind of space doesn't even need to be a factor. Like this could be
on a boat,
like, lifeboat,
on a boat,
or a submarine would be cool.
Exactly. It's just more of a human.
Dude, I'm so into it. I'm gonna watch it tonight with Lori. Hold her hand.
Yeah, I think you'll like it, and I recommend it. And Joe, you gave it high marks, right?
I liked it. Yeah, solid.
We also have this Toni Collette. That's a familiar face.
Man, she's a gift to us.
Yeah, she's good times in a movie. Anytime she shows up, I'm like, this is all good.
Hereditary, Sixth Sense, Knives Out. She's an all-star, man.
As we mentioned, you got Anna Kendrick in this feature.
And also the guy from Lost, who is Korean.
Daniel Day Kim.
That's him. That's whenever I say this. Oh, the guy from Lost, who is Korean.
Good memory. I didn't remember him from Lost, but I knew I'd seen him in something.
Him from, there was some caving movie he was in.
The Descent.
No, well, I don't think it was The Descent. It was more action-y, but he's a great guy. He's a good guy.
Stowaway sits at 75% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Where does it sit on the rotten eggs though?
What's it about?
A 3-person crew on a mission to Mars face an impossible choice when an unplanned passenger jeopardizes the lives of everyone on board. Carl?
I'd go a solid 90%. It's also not long, so that factors into whenever I watch movies.
Nice runtime.
Just like waste my time. The runtime is cool, so I give high marks for that.
Yeah.
Another Netflix is just full of gems. Did you guys see that Platform movie on Netflix?
I'll watch Platform again. Yeah, Italian film.
I'm sure you've talked about it on the podcast, but that one was that was another one of those movies where it's like, oh, this looks interesting enough to start, and by the end of it, you're like, what in the world?
Sometimes, and we've discussed this in the past, but sometimes if the premise is good enough, sometimes the execution doesn't even matter. It's like, you guys can totally botch this, but as long as you kind of play to my imagination on the setup, I'm good to go. And I thought that one executed well. The Platform, that is. Stowaway, though, I do have some issues, but again, we're not spoiling. Not a perfect film is what I'll say, but I'll say absolutely fire it up and check it out. Joel, you brought up other Netflix features. We revisited is it Love, Death, and Robots is the series.
Oh, yeah, that's a great series.
Yeah, so the new season is coming out, I think May 14th, some such. And it's just a collection of animated shorts with really kind of Black Mirror-esque standalone stories and sort of
and they're not always
futuristic
animated.
plots and stuff. They're pretty much entirely animated.
No, there's episodes. There's that one time travel episode.
Okay, maybe they got one live action. But
and then there's like a claymation looking kind of one, and
that's animation. Yeah. You call that animation?
Yeah, it's fun. It's like very Philip K. Dick. Like if you're into that kind of sci-fi.
Yeah. And so we're looking forward to that. We watched one where it was a simulation that you could run where it was all the different ways like Hitler could have worked out, and the way that they wrap it all up is hilarious. Because it has to do with time travelers like affecting the space-time continuum by that being such a popular like option for when you could time travel to.
Yeah.
Like Hitler is like a real popular option as far as like, do you kill him? Do you let him live? Do you like try to nudge him in the right direction? That one was really good. And then we watched another one about spacecraft that was some long serial number, but it was known as Lucky Number 13. And it was like this cursed spaceship until it got this really good pilot, and just some cool alien, space battles. And the animation on that one was kind of one of those where once you acclimate to the visual style, there are whole scenes that it just looks real. Like the animation is so well done that it just looks real. From the chat here tonight, can the guy on the bottom set up my bedroom? You're getting more praise there, Super Shark, from the Twitch chat on just your feng shui.
See my Teen Wolf painting here?
It's a classic Teen Wolf painting.
Let's get some good feng shui.
It's numbered too, John.
The Teen Wolf?
Very nice, very nice.
Is that the Teen Wolf?
One of my favorite movies. A lot of people don't know this, but at the end of that movie, during the credits, a person takes their dick out in the audience.
Oh my!
Make sure you look for that next time you watch Teen Wolf.
That's right.
Did you guys know that Michael J. Fox was killed during the filming of that film?
Yeah, and then replaced.
Yep. By
that redheaded guy.
Yeah. What's his name?
From Pulp Fiction, the drug dealer. What's his name, John?
Eric Foreman. Wait, what?
Question from the chat. I think this is directed at Super Shark. Have you guys watched Invincible?
Fuck yeah! So can we talk about that?
Let's get in there. Yeah, let's get in there.
So it's on Amazon Prime. It's made by the same studio that did like Batman the animated series and a lot of the DC cartoons, so it looks good. And
I did start watching this.
It's kind of another, if you like The Boys, Watchmen, like kind of the nihilistic superhero stuff, you would just love this because it's like all the messed up stuff a superhero would actually have to deal with. Like catching someone in the air and cutting their body into 3 pieces, and like how do you deal with that? And it's like heavy stuff. From
writer Kentuckian Robert Kirkman, same guy that did The Walking Dead. Looking forward to watching it. I've still not managed to fire it up, Joel.
Can't believe you haven't, man. The season finale was on yesterday.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's good. I can binge it out.
You can burn through all 8, and then also on Amazon is you can download an app called Comixology, and you can read every single Invincible comic that's ever been put out. And I burned through all of them. I read 144 comics.
And the artist for Invincible, I am a huge fan of. What's his name, Joel? Damn it. Ottman?
Roy Ottman?
Robert Ottman? Robbie Ottman?
No,
Is it Ottoman?
I got it. No, I got it. Ryan Oatley. We were close.
We were going to get there eventually.
Ryan Oatley. He has a really unique style. The comic book was published by Image Comics, and I always liked Image because I felt like they were a little more experimental than Marvel or DC. And if you're a fan of that kind of art, violent comic book art, with definitely his own stamp on it, I would recommend.
It's super violent.
I would recommend a Ryan Otley Instagram follow, because he's always posting really cool artwork and stuff on his Instagram as well.
mean, it's essentially it's exact same superhero origin story we've seen 100 times. It's essentially like Peter Parker coming to terms with his powers, but there's a twist, and man, this is the toughest part, because once again, John, it's like we can't talk about Red Dead because you still don't know the ending, the crazy ending that happens.
I'm so close. I'm really close.
And then Invincible's the same way. That first episode, and I would say almost every episode has some crazy left turn that is you're going to love it, because you're going to just want to keep watching episodes, and then you're going to get done and want more, and then you're going to read 1,000 pages of comic book.
Do you think Nick Offerman would make a good live action casting for Omni-Man?
No, J.K. Simmons is Omni-Man.
Oh, they got it cast? Well, I know, but I'm talking about like if they made a live action, because he's got the mustache, you know?
Oh, yeah. I think you'd probably see a John Hamm, though.
Okay.
There's nothing better than John Hamm and a mustache. Let me tell you some of the voices that are in the show.
Hit us.
You got Seth Rogen, who's one of the executive producers. You got Academy Award-winning Stephen Yeun, who plays Glenn, R.I.P., in Walking Dead.
He's well known for getting his eyeball knocked out on Walking
Sandra
Dead.
Oh, Zazie Beetz.
Mark Hamill.
Did you say J.K. Simmons?
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons. Walton Goggins from Django. And, John, the movie you want to talk about. Wasn't he in Game Over? No, He was in a Santa Claus movie with Mel Gibson. Walter Goggins. Remember he has to assassinate Santa Claus?
Oh, Walter Goggins. I remember his face.
He's got the teeth. He's got all those teeth.
Jason Mantzoukas.
What is
James
this film?
Brown.
What
Mark
is this?
Hamill.
What is this film where someone has to assassinate Santa Claus?
Fat Man.
It's called Fat Man.
I still haven't seen it. Yeah.
It's a Christmas tradition for me moving forward. It's Mel Gibson plays a very stark take on Santa Claus, like a realistic, like almost Batman Begins take on Santa Claus.
Dark Santa.
And then Walter Goggins, who hates Santa Claus, is being a rich kid is paying him to assassinate Santa Claus.
Interesting.
And that's the movie.
That fucking
And
Goggins. Jesus Christ.
Oh, Goggins?
You get the full Goggins experience. Yeah.
You do in that one.
This is a great movie.
I follow him on Instagram. He's a real...
He has his own whiskey.
Yeah, he's a real mixologist, this guy. He makes fancy drinks on Instagram. I always know him from all the Danny McBride, Jody Hill projects.
Vice Principal.
Yeah, Vice Principals. He was also in the Gemstone, what's that one called? Gemstone Brothers, the Gemstone Family. Yeah, something. Really good series. But back to movies. Let's not get too far out of control here, boys.
Anyway, Invincible, watch it.
Yeah.
And thank you for whoever asked that question, because my brother's really hard to get to watch stuff. It has to be his idea.
Yeah.
And then if it's John's idea, then he'll watch it.
Mm.
But if it's someone else's idea, it's rough.
I'm stubborn. Hey, I'm a stubborn guy. Blix is the guy who had the question, and he's joining us in the chat. Blix, you're walking into kind of a general topic. We're all over the place type podcast, so we're going to cover some games. We're going to cover some movies. We'll talk a little bit about comic books. And then, of course, occasionally we'll review a fish sandwich. So thanks for joining in the chat. The next movie...
Also in the audio chat back here, Moonfeather188 said something stupid. I didn't read it.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us, Moonfeather.
Excellent.
Moonfeather's a cool name.
Yeah, that's pretty all right.
That's
188. Should be like 187 though, not 188. It's like, why do you move on to the next one? It's like What's 187 mean? Isn't that like a murder with
murder, death, kill?
It's
Death
the police code for murder or homicide in Los Angeles or something like that.
Oh, what's 188? Like jaywalking or something?
Stealing a
like,
bird out of a pet store?
Bird out of a pet store is correct, yeah. Bird out of a pet store.
Pooping on the hood of someone's car?
It has to be the hood.
A 189 is pooping in the hood of someone's hoodie.
That would suck. And how long would it take for you to be like...
Well, I feel like you'd either notice the weight or if you wanted to warm your head up, you'd find out pretty quick when you whip that little bad boy.
Well, but no, what happened is you just trebuchet shit in front of you. You wouldn't get on your head.
I don't know.
You just smell shit every now and then. You'd be like, what is that?
No, you know. I think you know.
I just want to see someone try to sneak up on someone that shit in their hoodie without being detected. And has it been done? It has to have been done.
I have a
party or something.
I have a
back on the couch
while it's on you. You mean someone shitting in it?
I have a similar story. This was back when I lived with brother Jordan, our youngest Egbert brother. So Super Shark is my older brother.
Brother Jay?
Yeah, Ventriloquist is the younger brother, and I'm sure we'll get him back on the podcast sometime soon. But basically, he had a cat, and he wasn't great about changing the old litter box. So this cat would get creative about where it wanted to take a pee, and it was like I was cursed or something, and it always pissed on my things. And so like I had to throw away a guitar case once because it pissed inside of that, and it was a nice guitar case. I was pretty upset.
That's rough.
The other one was I was out and about, doing my trivia gig, and I'm like all night long, I'm like, man, I smell cat piss, which, as you guys know, is the worst smell on planet Earth. And as I'm out and about and I'm walking around, I can't help but notice, man, where is this coming from? Is it in my car? And then I get out of my car and it's like it's following me. I'm like, what is going on? I found out that the cat had pissed on my hoodie, and I was just wearing it around like some sort of psychopath. And then I found out and immediately just threw it away, because there is no fix for cat piss. You throw it in the garbage, and that's the end of the story.
Didn't you guys also sit on a cat and kill it?
Yeah.
You want to tell that story?
I mean, it's another story. We can. That was another sort of growing moment with my brother, my younger brother again. Oh, we all were. It was terrible. I don't like cats, but it's
$1,200 dog.
It's still life. Before we get too carried away with dead cats, the $1,000 dog has entered the arena. Hello, Kay Shaw.
Arr, arr, arr.
Let's get some barks out there. Ruff.
My company actually makes the product that does pretty well on cat piss. Might not have to throw something out if you hit it with some Zymex.
We have a jug of that, courtesy of Kay Shaw, and I can say it works.
Still threw away the hoodie though. What gives?
Oh well, this is a while ago. You came in late on the story.
Okay,
this was back in the day, back when we lived in Upper Arlington with that coward Seth Oglesby and my brother my brother Jordan Shaw. Kevin, how you doing?
Coward of the county, Seth Oglesby.
How's my chirpy doing? How you doing? Give us the update, the check in. I understand you were out doing some fitness.
Yeah. I'm bad. I'm having a bad day. I finished the fitness, and that's about the only good thing we can say about this day.
Okay.
So,
well, I'm sorry you had a bad day.
That's all right. I brought it on myself, and
You flip somebody off?
No. I underprepared for an exam, and I did poorly. And part of the under preparation involved me being a little bit hungover today, so I also just feel shitty.
Yeah.
So I finished my exam and then threw up a few times, both out of disgust at what had happened and out of how I was just feeling physically.
Yeah.
You'll have that.
Yeah. So pretty rough all around, but that's all right. Joe gave me a call, so at least one of you cares how I'm doing.
Oh,
and
shit.
he kind of put things into perspective, and he was just glad to hear that I wasn't, dying or something like that.
Yeah.
And the good news about that part is, I don't know. I also could be dying.
We all are dying.
See, I took that text, Kevin, as you said, I'm in a dark place. I assume you're always in a dark place, and that this was just a time that you decided to share it in a text. So I figured you knew how to deal,
But I called him, so
yeah. I thought it would be
to you.
I just thought it would be funny to say.
Joe's the better. No, and you're right. Joe's the better man.
He's not a better man. He's just a man who
cares
what happens to me.
Okay.
That makes me the better man.
Better man, basically. Well, we all care, and I'm glad you're on this pod with us. All you missed is
welcome.
So.
Yeah. All you missed is a little bit of movie talk, and then our opening question for the episode was, and I want to ask you this, Kevin: have you ever had sex with a transgendered human?
You're not supposed to. You're supposed to say someone that's transitioning.
That's the term.
It's a lot of words.
You don't say You don't call someone transgendered.
Sure, you do.
No.
But because gender means something other than what they physically done, so you need something else.
It's like you're saying it's just grammatically, it's like it happened to them.
I don't think
it happened.
It's a lot of words the other way, though.
I know. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
All right, Joel's woke. Great. Have you ever had sex with somebody who had a great bod and a great set of mamas, but then you get home later and it's like, oh wait, you have a dick and I also have a dick. What do we do?
You would figure that out later after you got home?
Yes.
How do you figure out that way?
Because she's put together well.
That's a good point.
And
right.
she's got secrets. She didn't want to tell you because she thought it would, maybe it would.
Yeah, but then does she tell you later, or do you find video of the encounter? How do you find out?
You find out when you pull her underwear off of her hips, and then.
Okay, so that would be before I got home. Or were we going back to my place? I'm confused.
It's
because it's the lady.
I'm masturbating right now.
Never mind. We can move on.
I mean, not to my memory, but
okay.
Who knows?
I just want to talk to someone who has, because I feel like I would.
Anything's possible.
I feel like in the moment I would go with it. It's like if I was.
No.
I'd be like, well, see what happens. Let's experiment. Let's try things.
No, you're being silly. You don't really believe that.
A part of me believes it.
Yeah. Why not? What's the harm in it?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying there's not any harm in it, like ethically. I just don't think you're one of those people. I don't think any of us is.
Okay.
I guess it depends on his horny level. If he wants to get in there or wherever it is, or wants somebody else to get in him wherever it is.
Yeah,
seems fine.
Joe gets it.
Yeah.
But you came in the middle of a movie chat, and we already talked about Stowaway. Kevin, I know you've seen the next movie on our list, and it's Game Over Man, and it's by all the Workaholics boys.
Yeah.
So I'd seen this movie already, but I had just the right amount of edibles in me last night, where it was kind of that 11:30, like, well, we either consider brushing our teethies and getting ready for bed, or fire up a whole new movie. And we went with option B, and we decided to turn. Actually, I didn't give my wife much of a choice. I was just like, I'm starting this. Let's see what happens. And then we watched the entire thing, and we were cracking up. Guy from Home Alone gets his dick cut off, and then he throws it at someone later in the movie. I mean, all the salvia humor in this picture. I think we've talked about it before on the pod, so we don't have to linger. But if you haven't seen Game Over Man, you owe it to yourself. It's sort of a love letter to 90s action movies, too.
It really pushes the boundaries of, like, what can happen in a movie.
Yeah.
And I like when movies do that.
Yeah. It makes me picture the writers and the creators in the writing room, like, sussing out all the different little, chunks of dialogue and the transitions from scene to scene, and, like, someone coming up with a crazy idea and it not getting shot down, and somebody else just supporting it in a moment and being like, yeah, put that in. And then 6 months later, you're on a set and you're filming somebody with like a fake a fake penis in their hand and they're throwing it as a weapon. That's beautiful. I love that.
I think it's also probably about like studios shutting people down as much as writers supporting each other. Like I think Netflix, that's a Netflix produced movie, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
I feel like maybe they've got more of those. Like they're giving people more freedom or something in their projects.
Yeah, and it seems to.
There's also just like a billion projects, so it's not like they, no oversight, whatever. Just send it to us.
Right, and that type of movie is probably a low budget investment, and those guys have some pull from their success on Workaholics and their individual comedy careers. That Adam Devine, his stand-up special is not bad by any stretch. So that was another one that I had. Joel, you had a couple movies you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I watched so Shudder's the best thing on the planet. Shudder's a horror film service, and they just have some really old, weird things on there.
Like a streaming
price
app.
on that?
Yeah.
Actually, right now, because they have a halfway to Halloween sale, and it's $1 a month for the first 2 months, and then it's like $7.
Pretty damn good.
Or something like that. But no, I watched a film called Psychomania. It takes place in Britain, and it's about a group of bikers that when they die, they come back from the dead. And their goal is to kill hippies. And that's the entire movie.
Are they zombies or like...
They look exactly the same.
Oh, okay.
They drive out of the ground, and then they go to like various different hippie camps. Because this is a 1971 film. I mean, everybody had a cult or knew someone in a cult at that point. And so, these zombie bikers would just go and there'd be like hippies around the lake playing their guitar and then they just drive through with baseball bats and chains and stuff.
I love it. I love this
the whole movie.
I love this premise because, as you guys know, I despise hippies. I can't stand it.
Yeah,
What's
you're
your
not a
feelings
fan.
on biker gangs?
They're cool. They seem cool. I wouldn't mess with them. I wouldn't I wouldn't try
Would you
to.
rather be in a biker gang or a hippie commune, utopian
Biker gang. I think biker gang. Yeah.
Carl?
Yeah.
Commune.
Called that in my head. No, I saw that coming.
I'll run that shit.
Yeah, you will, man.
Look at him. Look at his hair. He hasn't cut his hair since the beginning of the pandy. And he looks beautiful. I'm not faulting you for that. It's just like...
Oh my God, I'm white.
Good
White
luck
as
at
a damn ghost.
Good luck at a job interview is all I'm
I
saying.
look like white. I look like white Jesus.
Yeah, I'd have to know more about the hippies, I think. I feel like riding a motorcycle is dangerous, though. So
It is. That's why I would
have some reservations about that.
Carl,
It's also...
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, Carl, you look like if Jesus got into World of Warcraft instead of becoming the Messiah. Like,
or something obscure like Dark Age of Camelot or something like that.
yeah.
Or some kind of card game.
Joel,
Gathering.
final score on.
More obscure than Magic the Gathering.
Oh, it was real
That's-
bad.
A lot of
It's
people
like
know that.
4.
A 4 out of 10 for Panamania.
Yeah, it's real bad. It was just such a weird, like culturally specific plot
Yeah.
because there was a lot of biker gangs and a lot of fucking hippies, and that you could just see that some guy was like, "I have to write this movie."
I like the idea of two subcultures clashing. That's kind of fun.
Yeah. The other film I watched is called Hell House, LLC.
A house that murdered somebody and went to hell.
Not
Okay.
too far off, John.
Okay.
It's found footage.
It was a doctor who had
2009.
a pill addiction and he went to hell. Dr. House, Gregory House.
Gregory House.
No,
No, it's actually pretty popular, and I think you guys would like it. It's about a guy who runs a haunted house business,
Okay.
and he buys an actual haunted hotel to turn into a Halloween like haunted house walkthrough experience.
Saves
Does
on
he pay
labor.
more than he bargained for?
Yep, because all the haunted house stuff like juices up the satanic like basement that the house has.
Okay.
And their props start to come alive, and there's creepy clowns, and it's
You
really
don't watch out for having a satanic basement. If there's one thing I know, radon is one thing in the basement, but
Satan's another one.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
You get a real blood box situation going if you get Satan down there.
True.
You don't want Satan in your basement.
No.
So there's giant like pentagrams on the wall down there, and what they do as part of the haunted house is they have like a girl chained up like she's going to be sacrificed, and of course that like initiates the ceremony.
Ooh.
And then all this shit starts happening, and everyone like it's awful, and everyone dies, but it's all on found footage, like documentary style found footage.
The entire movie is found footage?
Well, it's a few different things. It's like footage of people on their iPhones in the haunted house.
Okay.
With footage from the people, like security cameras.
Okay.
And it's put together really well. Oh, and then like a documentarian who's trying to like tell the whole story.
Okay.
But there's like 5 of these movies, and I've only watched the first 2.
But it's fake. It's not real. It's not
Are you
real.
talking about paranormal activity?
Right?
No, it's everyone's worst fear if you go into a haunted house and there actually is shit in there to kill you.
Is it called
Okay.
Hell House LLC?
Uh-huh.
It came out in 2015. It's sitting at an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah,
Do you
it's
like
not
that
bad.
score? Is that fair?
Yeah, it's not bad.
Okay.
It was. I'm gonna watch the 3rd one later this evening. So it's a good movie.
Okay.
It's one of those rare, unique concepts where it's like you can make a whole bunch of these haunted
Would you
houses that
say
are
the
real.
third one of that is as good as the third Rocky movie?
With Clubber Lane and Thunderlips. I don't know,
Yeah.
man. That's really setting it up for maybe unachievable success.
Which would you rather watch right now?
Yeah, I would watch Clubber Lane and Thunderlips, Hulk Hogan for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what's the overall story of Rocky in that one? It's like, oh yeah, that's when he starts talking about should I be fighting? I love you. I got everything I need.
The overall story is the champ got lazy.
Yeah, because he was doing
lost.
like wrestling fights and stuff.
He lost, and Mickey had to die because of it.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, Mick dying is one of like the 3 best scenes in the whole franchise, I think.
Yep.
That one and I like in Rocky 3 where the robot gives his son milk.
That's Rocky 4.
Rocky 4, the Russian one, right? Yeah.
And
Happy birthday, Polly.
Sylvester Stallone's releasing a director's cut of Rocky 4,
Yeah.
and he's removing all the robot stuff.
What happened?
That's
What?
bullshit.
What happened
Leave
with
the
his
robot.
with his son in those movies? Did Balboa get knocked out so many times that like his sperm was concussed because the son was like autistic or something, right?
No, he was just Italian, and he wanted to be a boxer as well.
Hold on,
And
if you're Italian and you make a child and it's
I-
more likely to be
Long Island
autistic.
a Long Island accent is not too far away from
Autistic.
I don't think the kid was technically retarded, but they didn't give him.
No one said
many-
that. No one said that, Kevin.
I was gonna say more though.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a reason why you might have thought he was retarded.
He was autistic. I thought not retarded.
artistic,
Well-
like he does murals.
No, go on.
Yeah, but
Kevin.
you also said concussed, so you are already being disparaging towards the kid. Anywho, I think what happened was they didn't give him many lines, so he's just kind of there in the background. And then they tried to cast someone who looked a lot like Sylvester Stallone, and it just turns out that looks like a kid who's a little bit different. That's all.
Okay.
So they address this in Rocky Balboa. They bring him back. They say, "Oh, I didn't want to have your name. I wanted to get away as far as possible." He's like a stock trader on Wall Street or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah,
But then he just comes and sits in this corner. It's Rocky's the movie, so that's would be technically Rocky 6.
well, that's
so
right. He
you-
becomes his corner man.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Good memory.
So the kid is not defunct or has not been hit in the head at all. He just wanted to disavow himself from Rocky Balboa's name for professional reasons.
So,
Well, in Rocky 5 with Tommy Gunn, that was the whole plot. Was the kid wanted to get into boxing, and Rocky had all kinds of conflicted feelings and ended up kicking that dude with AIDS. He had AIDS.
No one talks about Rocky 5.
That's the one they need to recut because I think there's the potential for a good movie in there. It just got too wacky with the street fight and all that junk.
So
That's probably where somebody said, you know what would be cool? What if he doesn't box? What if he just fights in the street?
Yeah.
Somebody had that meeting.
It's a
and that's
producer.
what happened.
unsanctioned street fights. I just looked it up on IMDb. He's credited as Rocky Jr. That's the character in Rocky 4, and it's played by Rocky Krakoff. Is the actor's name?
Crack off the old block.
There you go. He also showed up in Poltergeist 2, The Other Side in 1986, and Arachnophobia in 1990. So,
1990. So would he have been? Was he like one of the kids from the high school?
Good question.
And Arachnophobia, I bet he's Jeff Daniels' kid.
It says sound department. He might have worked on the crew.
All right. Well, he's doing okay.
Yeah.
Doing Foley and stuff.
Yeah, I think so. Rocky Krakoff, guys, look him up. Oh, there you go.
Being a Foley artist for a boxing movie would be not a very fun job.
Lots
Just
of
having to create thousands of punch sounds over and over and over again.
lots of celery getting kind of chopped in half, and
Celery,
Yeah.
throwing banana peels on the ground, and
they get a mop head and they get it real wet and they just throw it on a board. Yeah. I would love that job, actually.
You had your second child, John?
Yeah, that's how me and Maggie had both of our children. I completely I come into a bucket for like a month, and then we saturate like a big, it's not a mop, but it's like a big, it's kind of like one of those big sponges you use to, like when you are washing your car. Like it's not a normal sponge. It's like a real big, silly looking sponge.
Cum sponge.
Yeah. Cum sponge. We fully absorb that. And then she sits across the room. We play some Lionel Richie, and then I just take throws, and that's how we had both of our kids.
I
was thinking of the Curb Your Enthusiasm music. Go ahead.
I've got some thoughts about cum. When we want to transition to a new subject, just let me know.
Yeah,
Well,
let's hear your thoughts about
I was going to say we've officially ended the movie recommendation portion of podcast right now, episode 184. Now we're going to enter into Kevin's cum thoughts.
All right.
thoughts with Kev.
So do you guys know what I mean when I say those trees that smell like cum?
Yes, the white ones, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Does everyone know? Everyone's familiar with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just
they got like a sour.
It's a salty.
Oh, it's a sweet sourness.
Sweet.
So they smell like cum.
They smell
It's
like
the trees that smell like cum.
They smell like old man or something. Which
Ooh,
old men, it
old
turns
man
out, smell a lot like cum.
It's like when you were young and you splooge in your hand and then smell it later.
Well, first you rub it.
Captain
and then you smell
Awesome.
it,
Captain
like in
Awesome. In the Captain Awesome is in the chat says, "Welcome back, Joel," and he also says John is high, and I can attest that is not true. I am.
Yeah, John's the one that's high.
I am drunk. Okay, so get it straight.
I think it's that you're pixelated. He thinks you're high. You're just blurry.
Yeah, I don't know. No one
I
can
just
know.
want to know where I need to go to smell some cum.
That'd just
Can you
be
tell me?
John's view. That's blurry. Not like you wouldn't.
Joe wants
you
to
wouldn't look at him and he's blurry.
Joe wants to know where he can go to smell some cum. Can you guys help him out? Maybe your sock drawer.
Your own garage.
Any corner of a bedroom.
I've done that there.
Smell. Or how about this one, Joe? Smell your farts next time you fart really hard. Smell those.
No, we can give him more things that smell like cum. The bathroom trash can.
Yeah.
CPR balls.
Maybe that's it.
CPR.
Maybe that's
Toilet.
a
The
CPR
entire
dog.
toilet.
All right. Yeah, just the whole story about the cum was they're in
Your whole
bloom.
bed.
They're in bloom recently, and so I go on the walks, and then I kind of laughed to myself, and I didn't know if it was even something that other people were aware of.
Yeah.
Was happening. Maybe it was just my own little secret. But
No, years ago, you
What are
made
saying?
me.
You're walking around and jacking
You
off.
coined the phrase.
No, he's smelling the trees, and he's like, "God damn it, these trees smell like cum."
yeah.
Are you jacking off?
Does anyone else notice this? Do they think it's funny if I passed a person of the
Can you
opposite sex,
send me a
maybe an
picture
older
of this
person,
tree?
and we look each other in the eye? I can. It's just it's a white flowery tree.
Like
I don't
a
know.
birch
They-
or an elm, maybe.
Well,
No idea.
Honeysuckle.
they bud
Honeysuckle.
they bud early in spring in Ohio and in our climate, and you'll get the white ones, and then there's also like sort of a lavender, like pink, purplish pink kind of
Like a red bud, maybe.
dogwood or something. No, dogwoods are the red ones. Anyways, we'll look it up. We'll get you the info. Kevin, I didn't notice it until you made me aware of it, and then I was like, oh yeah, no, you're right. That does kind of smell like a load. And now when I'm out on my walks or my rides, I look at them and I just think of the time that you told me that you thought they smell like cum. And I think they kind of do too, but at the same time, it's not my first thought. I'm like,
Okay, so
spring
I
is
found the
beautiful.
tree.
Yeah.
It's called
Yeah.
a Pyrus calliana,
That's
also
the
known
Latin
as
name.
the ornamental
Give us
pear,
Okay.
or calorie pear.
Ornamental
And,
pear?
Vice did a whole article on. Here's why the trees on your street smell like semen. I'm going to send it to you guys.
So science has confirmed this.
Yeah, you know
Not
that
just-
smell. It's like
not
a
just
chlorine,
descriptive.
musky smell. The answer is trees. They're from China. They're an invasive tree, but they're all over the Midwest, and they're small, neat. They have cute white flowers. Does that sound right?
Yep.
All right. So they self-germinate and are constantly jizzing on themselves. So you're actually smelling
Whoa.
tree cum.
Just like me.
They want
Just
to
get
look
yourself
pretty,
pregnant.
but they're from China. They're self-germinate. That's not even. Doesn't even
You
You
sound
would
like
never
that.
say self-germinating.
No.
You're just always jizzing on yourself. Who
Hopefully it's
knows
just
what
a bad
happens
impression.
when you're watching some HBO Max.
I think, Kevin, you should start an Instagram that's just pictures of those, anything that smells like cum, but it's those trees.
Joel, you went to a haunted house recently, and you were going to tell us about your experience there and maybe review it.
Yeah. So I went to 13 Floors of Terror,
Ooh.
downtown Denver. It was open for 2 days because it's halfway to Halloween. At least it was a couple days ago. And I went with just some friends of mine, and and that movie I saw after. Thank God. If I would have seen it before, it would have been a tough time.
Yeah.
It was really fun. It didn't have a lot of actors, so you could tell they put a lot of work into the aesthetics of everything.
The effects.
They had one room that I was walking into, and I saw another guy walking towards me,
Ooh.
and like just kind of standing there.
Mm.
And I would get closer, and then he would get closer to the point where I couldn't get past him.
I don't like it.
And then I realized it was my own reflection. There's like mirrors everywhere, and I totally goofed myself out.
Oh no.
There was another room with like anacondas and alligators, and they did this cool effect with fog and these flat lasers that made it look like rippling water, you know?
Cool.
So everyone like instinctively put their hands in the air, like you're fucking John Voight and Ice Cube and Anaconda, you know?
Topical.
And that was a cool effect.
Nice.
John Voight with the French accents. Ho, ho, ho.
Oh, his accent in that movie, I forgot.
You want to kill a snake? Yeah. Afterwards, they had axe throwing,
Okay.
which I wasn't that good at. I fucked my back up. I fell down the stairs last week, and I fucked my back up, so I couldn't throw the way that I would have liked to.
Sure.
Didn't you fall down the stairs again last night?
I fell down the stairs with you guys on my headset last night.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I dropped
And
trees
that's-
everywhere.
I can count at least 2 other times I've seen you falling down stairs.
I'm the Chevy Chase
on, man?
walking around.
Yeah, what's going on with you in stairs?
Early signs of dementia.
All right, well, be careful.
Pretty much.
And then we went and got a beer at the Shriek Easy, which was their fancy little bar that they had there. It's called the Shriek Easy. I thought that was a fun name. And we sit down at the picnic table, and I don't know if you guys have ever had a situation happen, but I realized that my butt is wet.
You shit yourself?
My butthole area is wet.
Sweaty butt, or did you poop?
I don't listen, man.
I've never heard of this.
Well, I'm like, what is happening? And then I got up to grab a beer, and I was really self-conscious of it.
You should be.
And you can't look at your own butthole, unless you got a mirror on the floor like Joe has. And I'm
wet
like,
fart butt.
Just trying to think like, what is going on? And then I sit down, and I'm at the point where I'm like, I probably sat in something. I don't know. Don't make a big deal out of it. It's not a big deal.
Right.
And then this fucking clown comes out of nowhere, pops his head right here, and goes, boo. And everyone laughs, And I didn't say anything. I just kind of looked at him like this, and he goes, look at this guy. This guy shit his pants. This guy definitely, he's so scared. He shit his pants. Hey, man, the gift shop's over here if you need to get some new pants. And in my head.
Busted you out, man. Yeah, I was going to say, you had to be high for this.
In my head, I'm like, he did what I would have done, for sure. He made a joke out of something, and I definitely shit my pants, guys. I must have sharted at some point, right? So I quickly am like, oh shit, it's 9:30. I got to go home. And so I leave, and on the way home, I'm still like in my head, I'm like, I'm going to stop at a 7-Eleven. So I go to a 7-Eleven.
You're getting shit all over your Jeep seats and stuff?
I go into the bathroom, and I'm like, at this point, I found peace. I'm like, it's going to be, I was ready to see a disaster.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be awful and so embarrassing.
Sticky brown down there, yeah.
So I pull everything down and I look, and there's nothing there. Literally nothing there. And I must have just sat on a wet spot. But here's what makes it such a wild story. If that clown didn't say anything to me, I would have given up on it. But it was just a weird coincidence that the clown said, oh, I made this guy shit his pants over here. And I was already in my own head thinking about whether or not I shit my pants.
Wow.
Maybe they sprayed your butt. Maybe someone came up behind you and sprayed your butt with something.
Like an anaconda.
Your butthole.
Were you conscious the whole time? You never lost consciousness?
Did I lose time?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. It's
family friendly.
No, well, it just sounds like it wasn't that hard to convince you that you might have shit your pants.
It's not hard to convince me of anything.
I don't think it's hard to convince anyone who has a wet butt. You know what I mean? Like, that's a pretty common fear.
And then someone made an offhanded comment.
I think a lot of us,
your pants,
yeah,
you'd put 1 and 2 together.
Yeah, I think everyone. I think a lot of people would say, yeah, I think I maybe did shit my pants. I don't remember it, but it's possible.
Put 2 and 2 together, right?
When would it have happened? Like, maybe you guys are probably right.
Well, if you fart and sometimes the fart's the exact same temperature as your butt cheeks.
Yeah. Or just the general ecosystem.
Feel like you farted, but you actually sharted.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't sharted a lot in my life, but it's usually not always obvious. Right, Joe?
But, all right. So, yeah, this has happened before. But in those cases, I feel like you could still wiggle around a little bit and something's not quite right. If you just sat in something wet, I feel like you would still, you know that it was mostly clean. And I'm not sure what's happening right now for being...
Yeah, it was a confusing thing. It's like one of those Twilight Zone
weird
things. Yeah. My house was fine. It was an average haunted house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just average?
It was long. It took like 40 minutes to get through it.
That's stressful to me. I like them because I know they're going to be over in 20 minutes or 15 minutes or something. Got to keep moving the crowds through, I got that on my side.
To have a mask on. I felt bad for the actors in the haunted house because they couldn't see if we were scared because we were all wearing our stupid mask,
Yeah.
So that was kind of a weird aspect of it.
Yeah.
I also was glad that they didn't go full pandemic, like capitalize off of I was worried that was going to be a thing.
I would have liked
like
that more if they leaned into it and it was like a viral outbreak haunted house. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little
Too soon.
Yeah,
I
a lot
got
of
you.
people died.
I
A little
can't
on the
see my
nose.
grandparents. This room is off limits.
Yeah.
I have to walk around it so far away.
That's
So
what the
scary.
haunted house is. In this room, everyone loses their job.
This is the plexiglass room. Try to navigate through this. It's hard to do.
Yeah, you have to check out at Target. Good luck.
Yeah. Well,
At this room, you order Grubhub.
They're
Sounds-
not getting benefits pay.
sounds good.
I feel like we could workshop this. This could become a thing.
Yeah, people would pay for that. Relive what's still happening.
And then at the end, all the actors come out and they just try to hug you, and you're like, no.
Like, we actually work at Target. Give me money.
Another item on the list today. I had a chance to take the kiddos into a comic book shop, and I hadn't done that in a while.
Yeah.
And they were able. This is World's Greatest Comics on Westerville Road. It's actually located right next
It's a
to.
lucky coincidence.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'd been driving by it for I guess a couple of years now, and just hadn't looked over and seen the sign. And I was like, oh shit. I thought it was
World's Greatest right down the street. That's
it's a chain.
pretty lucky, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. I was with the girls in the old Sienna, and I said, hey, would you guys be interested in checking that place out and finding some books? And they both were into it. And so we popped in there, and I used to have a serious,
Were they seriously into it, or what's their...
I'll get there.
Okay.
So first of all, Joe, now that you're chiming in, I do want to say this is right next to the billiards where you got a gun pulled on you, and then you went and hid at a tire shop, and had an Uber come.
Why
And
are you saying I hit her at a tire shop like that's
Did
the
you
most
hide
important
inside the
story?
tires?
No, that's what I-
Style?
No, that's what I would have done. I would have hid.
Like,
You did the
also,
right thing. You handled it like an ace once it happened.
cocksucker.
But I couldn't help but notice that they sort of cleaned that shopping strip up, but I'm sure guns still get pulled on people at that
Yeah,
Cushions.
the Aldi there is really nice now.
Yeah. And so anyways, we went in. The staff there was overly nice to my daughters, and they were like, hey, what are you looking for? What do you like? And they were like Pokemon and My Little Ponies, and they found books for them. But then gave them like some Green Lantern power rings, and just made it like
Shut up, that's fun.
Yeah, they made it like a really fun experience, because I already knew how to make it fun. I was ready to like play librarian, but they had some some stereotypical comic book store guys there ready to rock, and just had a great, wholesome experience going around the comic book store. I used to have a major, that was one of the things I had to deactivate in my weekly routine. Kevin and Carl, you guys probably remember when I lived next to you. I would wake up in the morning with whatever comic books that I had, with my coffee, head out to the porch, smoke a cigarette, and that was like the beginning of my day for a long time.
I still do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Not the cigarette part,
Right.
but my favorite part is sitting outside on a nice day.
Yeah.
With a fresh cup of coffee, and like those iPad comic books aren't bad to read. I think they're kind of fun.
For me, it's always been something about the physical, the
smell.
Yeah, and then
Smell.
I have a huge collection in my basement, but I used to go every week, every comic book day, every Wednesday, new books, and they had a pool for me, and that was one of the things I had to like shut down for budgetary reasons. Once I started reproducing, it was like, okay, comic books, that's an easy one. You can't do that anymore. And so it was nice to go back in there with them and pick a couple things out. What I grabbed, which I was excited about, and Joel, I sent you some screen caps of because I was just into it. But for $1, they had these just kind of like throwback, like classic entry level character
cool.
introduction type comic books. And so I picked up for myself. I got Spider-Man number 361, which is the introduction of Carnage. And then I got the Uncanny X-Men number 141, which is the beginning of the Days of Future Past storyline. And so I was just, I don't know, I was geeking out. I mean, these are both comic books from the 1980s, and it's not my favorite era, but I guess it kind of is or something. Like, I feel like 10 years ago, I might not have enjoyed these as much as I did now. And the way they write, and there's just like, they just load pages with dialogue and internal dialogue and the thought bubbles, and like all the dialogue is insane.
Some of them.
Yeah.
That's 100% Stan Lee. He did a lot of like weird narrative choices.
Well, his rule was for a long time that no matter what issue you pick up, it doesn't matter whether it's, whatever, Fantastic Four number 253, from that one issue, you should be able to know what the team's about, how they got their powers. And so he was really all about the whole self-contained, every issue should be able to stand on its own two legs. Yeah.
Yeah, they still try to do that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's what can get my kids into comic books.
Yeah. And so,
which is what you were doing today.
Yeah. And then they had like a super Japanese style little 4-parter for Pokemon that my 9-year-old was able to get, and those were published in like 1990 or something crazy. So they were really old, and she was having a blast reading those. The artwork was a lot cooler than what I remember, seeing in the cartoon. Obviously, manga, anime style, but she had a good time with those. And then my 5-year-old found a My Little Pony comic book, which I read to her, and it was just a little wholesome, fun little day. We had a good time.
We should we should go to a Clippers game soon with the kids.
Agreed.
I went to one yesterday, and everything's super socially distanced right now. There were maybe 500 people in the park.
Yeah.
So we sat, first of all, you sit wherever you want. It's general admission, and you can get 2 rows from the field, third baseline kind of thing.
Yeah.
So we were sitting right in front of where the pitchers were warming up. And anytime a pitcher came up, you would, any kids in the general vicinity, they would toss a couple balls to. So get a couple of free balls, cheap tickets.
Love it.
That's a lot of fun.
Get some sunshine.
Yeah, I'll have to watch myself. Me and baseball games, it turns out I tend to misbehave, but I'll
I think you're supposed to
just buy a gift basket at the end of the day. You'll be okay.
It'll be fine. Send them a gift basket. No, that sounds great, Kevin. And I think the last time we all went to a Clippers game, I think it was 2019 or something. So that sounds really fun. Get the kiddos together. In other family child news, I had my 5-year-old. She spent the night at her grandparents last night, and they have a hot tub, and they always look forward to a morning hot tub dip. And she slipped and hit her chin on the edge of the hot tub and got herself her first set of stitches ever. And nice. 3 stitches this morning at urgent care over in Bell Fountain, and handled it like a champ from what I hear. Tough kid. So
I'm sorry, which kid was this?
This was the younger one, the 5-year-old.
Okay. Well, good for her.
Yeah, they had to restrain her for the numbing shots that they put in that area. Yeah. And so she wasn't into that. And then, but her grandma really stepped it up, my dad's wife, Kim, and she really stepped it up and helped her granddaughter get through that. I mean, that's some of those experiences that are are you a grandma? Or are you not? Or are you just kind of pouring bowls of cereal? You know what I mean? And she really proved it. Furniture. She killed it. And now for the second half of the evening, we were kind of, or the second part of the day, I should say, we were trying to talk to her about, because she brought up, I don't want to go to school tomorrow because she's embarrassed about her stitches. And I said, whoa, you got to know something about an injury as a kid. You're officially the coolest kid at school.
Yeah.
When you go in, you have a story now, and you can modify that story however you want. And, you can have some fun with this. So
just lie. Yeah. Just say whatever you want.
Teach her to lie.
Show her that scene from Jaws where they're showing each other scars underneath the boat. How cool scars are.
The deal about my head scar is I always say I got this during the war, which is true. I wasn't in the war, but
it was happening.
It was happening around me when I got my head scar.
It happened technically during the war on drugs in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
We got an episode title recommendation from the chat. The episode title should be Everything Smells Like Cum. We might have to go with that.
Certain things definitely smell like cum.
Yeah, like cum.
Like cum.
Hot
trees.
dogs?
Yeah, hot dog water. That's what Limp Bizkit said.
Oh,
Really?
Hot dog flavored water. Yeah,
That's what that is?
that's what that is. Yeah.
wow.
Makes sense, I guess.
Seems like something they would do.
They were eating cheap hot dogs then. Normal
For
hot
sure.
dogs.
Definitely some ballpark Franks or something.
Ugh.
Ballpark Franks are fine, but really boiling a hot dog is like the worst way to do it.
Yeah, agree. That's a sad day when you're. I can share a personal story. I don't think anyone's going to care. This is funny. So my sister was in town from Colorado, and we got to talking, and we had plenty of time to catch up. And after the initial catch up conversations, 2, 3, 4 days into her visit, I don't know how we got on this topic. I'm sure edibles were involved, but I asked her about her experience living with my dad after my dad and mom divorced while she was still in high school. Joel, me, and Jordan, we were all grown men, or somewhere closer to that at least, and out, in the world and paying our own rent and doing our own thing. And so we were a little removed from it, but she's 7 years younger than me, and I was talking about the one time that I visited old Dan Egbert's apartment or condo or whatever you want to call it right after the divorce, right? And it was bad, it smelled like our grandpa's house. I went to use his bathroom. It's like, hey, Dad, you got to get some Windex every once in a while, and you got to clean your mirror, and it just was rough in there. And she said, we were talking about hot dogs. This is what made me think of it. She said that he would buy 100 pack of frozen hot dogs, and they would, and eat hot dogs for months on end until Melanie was finally like, no more. I'm not eating more of these. And he was boiling them and cooking them in a pan. He wasn't grilling and shit like that. It was like the dark. It's
really
times.
not as dark as I was expecting that story to go.
No,
based
at
on
one
what I know
point,
of the internet.
Freezer hot dogs, dude. If you're freezing hot dogs, some shit is going on, man.
No, I was going in a much different direction.
Okay. What did you think?
Frozen hot dogs, John.
You're my stepdaughter and you're stuck with hot dogs?
It's his real daughter. It's not stepdaughter. This isn't Pornhub.
You got to pretend a little bit if you're gonna follow through with the rest of your plan.
I guess that's fair. Oh my God. But no, she brought that up to me though, all the frozen hot dogs, and I lost it. I was just like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
He was like that as kids. He would make he would stir fry for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah,
he's very robotic in how he would pick out his meals.
You know what? Props to him as a dad though. I don't ever remember him drinking around us or partying ever. He went full dad as we were growing up. Before the divorce and all that, it was just Joel, can you, I know they had a liquor cabinet, right? They had some wine, but it wasn't
they had a rule. And remember when we had that RV, Dad would keep his beer in that RV.
Oh,
it was this weird rule that him and Aunt Jo decided early on, when we were kids, we're just never going to drink around him. But apparently apparently, like, they did all the, but they were hiding it and stuff.
They were cool about it, yeah. Because I don't have a memory of that at all. It makes
I don't
me
have
think,
a problem drinking a beer around my kids, though, because it's not all the time. Like,
right.
It's every once in a while, you know?
Yeah, it's just every day, from 5 until 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as the sun's out or it's night.
Yeah.
Either one.
Either one. No. But yeah, I don't know. I think we went through our list. Any other topics you guys want to get to, or do we want to do a video game segment / I could do some trivia for you guys? I don't know. So I feel like this is kind of a dud episode, but I could be wrong.
Do we have like any little segments? Does Joe have anything? Or
yeah, no. Joe's only segment is that he has nothing planned for the episode.
Nothing planned. I was told there would be trivia, and I would show up, and here it would be. And then now we're talking about some Dan on Melody action, which is hot.
No,
but now we're back to nothing. So
no,
who knows?
I don't know. I went to the casino last night. That was sort of interesting, I guess.
That's a story.
You didn't put any money on the ponies. You're the group's reputable gambler.
Kind of.
Had no action on the Derby at all whatsoever. Did you any action at all?
No.
No.
Yeah, I'll bet on sports if I'm going to watch them, but I'm not that attracted to gambling if I'm not going to get entertainment value out of it, or I don't think I'm going to win something.
Okay, so you've never gambled on the ponies at all? Not for you.
I don't remember. I might have done it 1 or 2 years, but yeah, if I had been at a place where people were watching it, then I would have bet something. But
yeah,
wasn't.
If you go to a horse track, it's super fun.
Yep.
When we did that in Florida, we went and saw dog races in Florida, and then we went and watched Django Unchained.
Yeah, no, that was a trip. I mean, if you're going to watch Django, I recommend dog races before.
And they had like 75-cent beers. They wanted you to be drunk the whole time, and you'd sit and watch dogs race. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
Did you win last night in your poker games?
Yeah.
Did you come out on top?
Yeah, I won a not super exciting amount of money, but a little bit. And it's just kind of wanted to see how they had stuff laid out, and it was different. So everyone's masked the entire time that you're anywhere inside the casino. And they put plexiglass like in between each individual player at a poker table. So it's
weird.
super, yeah, it feels like you're, at a bank or a, gas station or something like that. Like you're placing all your bets under plexiglass. And it also, because it takes up so much room, they had to move the poker tables from 9 people to 6 people, which is just like a huge, like technical, mechanical change to the game. It totally changes how the game actually plays.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit different, but, it was fun. I hadn't been since the pandemic. Seemed super like one of the obvious things that you could cut out back when stuff was kind of optional, waiting to see what happens. And then, got vaccinated. So I'm trying to go out and check in with some things that I haven't been able to do or interested in doing.
Yeah.
Would you be interested in movie theater night sometime soon?
Yeah.
There's something coming out soon. Joe, maybe you can help me. Oh yeah, the Guy Ritchie movie with Jason Statham. You can go see a silly British action.
What's that called? Man something.
I didn't know it was coming out, but it's probably called Man Kicks Snatch in the Face.
Yeah,
starring Jason Statham, directed by Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, no, he plays
I will watch it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited, and it seems like a good movie theater type movie. But maybe we can.
He plays a former kickboxer who's got to recover some stolen goods from some nefarious London ne'er-do-wells.
No, it's not the plot. No, that's the Snatch plot.
All the. Yeah.
No, some bank robbers, I believe, or somebody killed his wife and kid. That old rigmarole.
That old John Wick.
Yeah, and so he gets a job with a what do you call them? Like armored car service, like
Brinks.
Yeah.
Wrath of Man is what it's called.
There you go, Wrath of Man. And
Call
so,
it, boom, boom. That's what that job's called.
no, you call that job
Soundtrack.
boom, ba-do-doom, ba-doom-doom, boom, ba-do-doom, ba-doom-doom. That's the bass line you were looking for. But anyways, yeah. So from the trailer, it seems like he takes he gets this gig, but really he's just trying to get as much access to current bank robbers again, so he can find and exact revenge upon the folks that killed his wife and kid. I'm in. Sold. And Guy Ritchie, man, come on. I'm the only person on planet Earth that thinks that King Arthur was a fun movie. Everyone else hated it.
I haven't seen it yet.
You gotta watch it. You'll love it, Joel. You will love it.
Okay,
guaranteed.
Yeah. So the Guy Ritchie movie doesn't sound like the thing that I would most want to see at any point at a movie theater. But,
okay.
If it plays out that way, then I'm open to it. I wouldn't mind going to a movie theater and seeing
horror film, man. There's that what's the Unholy is what it's called. There's some like
is Bob Odenkirk's thing still in theaters?
I still haven't seen that. I would be open to that. Nobody is the title.
It's a
That's
fun
a good
movie.
one. I don't know if it's a very like theater worthy movie.
That's what you were saying.
I think at this point anything is a theater worthy movie.
That's true. If you really want to go to a theater, for me, I like going to see.
Go ahead.
The lights and the sounds.
Yeah, I was going to say
this is not as theater worthy as like Godzilla.
Well, I mean, that's
for sure.
Yeah, but I don't think I think any movie you see in a theater is going to be better than watching it at home. So I would go see a drama, and I have, and I'll go see a comedy. It's not just. I mean, it seems like that's the go-to after a year of not going to the movie theater, especially if you love the movie theater like myself. For me, I'll go see whatever, man. I just want a full strength beer and a big, quiet auditorium with all the lights off, and that's my shit.
Like, John, you would be a good guy to set all that up at your house with a projector.
One day, life goals for sure. That's on the list.
Okay, I just feel like that you can create that experience in that way, and it's even better. You get a bunch of friends, you get a fire going, you get some beers.
And I talked about this a couple episodes ago, but it's the shared experience.
Being with other people.
Yeah, I compared it to going to a cool concert where you're like, I don't know any of these people here, but I know that they like this band and connect with this music the way I have, and that they're going to groove, and we're all going to share this experience. And I think movies are like that, where, I mean, even a bad movie, it works. The same thing works because
you get that shared experience.
Well, and you're in there together, and you're like everyone collectively is agreeing, like, we fucked up, right? Like, we shouldn't have come to see, like, we shouldn't have spent money to see this movie. This movie sucks, Or you have moments like Endgame, Joel, where Cap gets the Mjolnir, and everyone comes in their pants simultaneously. Yeah.
That, and I remember is it Star Wars Episode 2 when Yoda fights Dooku?
Oh, yeah.
That was the 2 times I've ever been like grateful I was at a theater.
Yeah, I love that, but for the wrong reasons. Yeah, it was cool, but it did not make sense.
It didn't make sense, but everyone applauded.
Kevin had something to add. I think we jumped over him.
I was going to say playing poker at a casino is like that too. Like, yeah. It's like strangers, people that I'm not going to have any contact with outside of the thing. But, you kind of settle in. You're going to be sitting with people for like 3 hours or whatever. And it's a lot more pleasant to play when there's somebody who's like, good tempered and that kind of shit. So there was one of those guys there last night, and it was nice. It's nice to be in the company of, strangers who like the same shit as you.
Nice.
I think that's actually important, like societally and psychologically, to have positive interactions with strangers. Like, I've been playing a ton of that stupid Civilization game, and part of the reason is I'm spending 3 hours with a stranger because you have to use the headset, and I'm just like, how often do you just buckle up and like, I'm going to talk to this guy I've met 2 seconds ago for the next 3 hours.
Yeah.
And there's something really pleasant about that experience, you know?
Yeah, totally. It's that's like kind of how Xbox Live and online gaming used to work on the whole, like when it first came out, before the ESRB realized, like, oh wait, we can't have all these open mics and open chats set up by default because it's going to change the rating of the, experience for a user. So like maybe your game doesn't include a lot of violence, but put that game online and watch all the toxic bullshit that comes through your headset because it's just an open chat system. Halo 2 comes to mind, and we've talked about this in the past, but it's like, holy shit, it's a dark world out there on the internet. You ever run into any douchebags like as you're doing your Civ, or is that it seems
for sure?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a situation, and I've been in this situation before, but where there's definitely a black dude playing, and then all of a sudden this other rednecky dude drops the N-word.
Oh wow.
And it was
which N-word?
Say it.
It sounds like the type of pants you wear when you go golfing.
Khakis.
Knackies? What's a knacky?
Knickers. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
That was pretty close, man.
Those are pants.
And you're supposed to say, no, I'm done. I'm not, no more jokes. I got nothing else.
Anyway, you could cut the tension with a knife. It was so awkward. And to the point where, like, you have to speak up because it's like you're all on top of each other. Like you're all inside each other's heads.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, why would you do that? He goes, oh, you know what the biggest problem with this word is your reaction to it. It's just a word. It's just a noise. And I'm like, yeah, to you, whitey. But to this guy, it's clearly upsetting him. Like, it's very tactless.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've had a couple situations where someone pushes it too far. The funny thing, because that game, you can, like, have full out war with people, is when that happens, and then it gets really awkward because people are starting to, like, it went from very friendly to, like, now I'm dropping nukes on your capital city, and people
they're upset about it.
Fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah. Like, sorry, this is the game. We're playing. We're against each other.
Competitive game.
From the chat, we have a question. Which game do you think has the most positive community? Great question, Captain Awesome. I can think of one right out of the gate, and it kind of doesn't work because it's more of like a Reddit, like subreddit community. But the game Boneworks in, you guessed it, VR, it's just like celebrated by the folks who love it. And there's a lot of interaction, in the subreddit for that game. And it's just kind of a shooter, like experimental physics based. And it has a bunch of cool experiences / a full on campaign that you can play through. For me, that would be, I guess, the first thing that comes to mind. Can you guys think of an online community that you've only or had mostly positive experiences with?
Does it have to be online community?
I mean, mine wasn't. So, I mean, it would just have to be some sort of.
Out of the games I play, Tecmo Super Bowl kind of comes to mind.
That's a good one. Yeah.
The pockets of people who still kind of put together competitions and stuff regionally. They're all just sort of similar, nerdy, nice 30, 40-year-old guys. That's the one I can think of.
Well, that's a great one. Yeah.
Honorable mention to Rocket League for being like the absolute worst out of the games I play. It's extremely toxic.
Yeah.
I think every VR person I've ever met has been, there's something real. I think we've talked about this, John. Like, there's something, it's like, I guess intimate is the best word I can think of.
Yeah.
Because you're like sharing a space with them. It feels like
you're across the room from them or across the table.
What was
from
that
them?
shooter game we played that was like pretty complicated? Like you had to load the bullets and
Pavlov.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah, the people in that game were they were so friendly, like so helpful.
That's another good example. Yeah, and it's one of those games where you have new players coming in all the time, and the mechanics and the learning curve are pretty steep, and so having help from other people in real time in your game on your team, like that's pretty cool because you remember that person, like that guy that we played with.
I want to play that again.
Well, let's do it tonight. No big deal.
Those zombies. So zombies come out.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, I gotta reload, and then like your squad mates will cover so that you can like reload and give yourself your shots for health and everything. I think that's really that took it up another level, for sure.
Yeah, and I think you're dead on as far as positivity. And it's the type of game where you're going to have annoying, screaming kids and stuff from time to time. But if that's the worst of it, and it's not someone blatantly like spraying, hate speak all over the internet, then I'll take that. If it's just an annoying 9-year-old versus an annoying racist 39-year-old.
What was that game we all were excited to play? And every time we played, everybody was like the worst. It's that Project Winter game. It's a survival, asymmetrical murder survival. It's kind of like Among Us, but a lot better graphics.
No, yeah, we caught some hard ends in that game. It's
they're screaming at us
bummer.
In person, and it was like, geez Louise, because you can communicate with everyone.
Yeah.
It's so funny. That was a common feature when Xbox Live first came out. Like, it was by default, you were talking to everybody.
That's what I was referencing earlier.
It's super hard to find. Like, Friday the 13th does it. PUBG does it. But, do you remember, like, pushing down on the D-pad to play Halo 2 to team chat? Like, you talk just to your squad and stuff?
Yep. GTA 5, we play a lot. And that one, I mean, if you go into the open chat version, I mean, it's the same thing. You're going to find, somebody in there that's just ready to try out new racial slurs. It's like, all right, cool. Good job.
Well, Rockstar should have thought it through, but you can rob any convenience store in GTA, and you can get more money if you yell at the guy.
Yeah.
Do you guys know this?
Yeah.
Scream at the guy.
Oh, yeah.
So whenever you go to open chat, that's all you hear is, put the fucking money in the bag. People are yelling at various convenience stores all over, whatever.
Yeah,
San Andreas.
What they should do for the open online play in GTA 5 is limit it to like a block or a couple block like proximity. So you could talk to someone near you. But what they do is they open it up for the entire server, whoever's in there. I think it's like 16 players or something, and it's just like you'll hear screaming, and I don't know. That's a sad truth about humanity, huh? A little anonymity, and look at us go. It's a bummer.
Yeah, we clearly need it. Isn't it weird that we kind of need a way to just emote different things anonymously?
I don't think. Well, I think they're not doing something else in their life, and that's why they behave that way.
Disbalance.
Yeah. They're lacking. It's like they clearly want attention, right? It's like the verbal version of trolling. You want someone to get pissed. You want someone to say, "Hey, man, you can't say that. Be cool, bro."
Hey, man. Yeah. We should play the Poker Stars VR sometime together.
I would be into that.
Have you played an actual game with that?
Oh yeah, me and Brogan and John Hill have played a bunch.
Okay.
And that has that same feeling you were describing of like you're sitting next to somebody and you're talking to them. Like the whole game, you're just chatting with people across the table, and it's definitely a unique experience.
Are the mechanics of the game clean? Like, we lose a Joe.
I think we lost a Joe.
Yeah. Like just kind of looking at your cards, handling chips. Is it crisp?
Yeah.
I see that one.
Either way.
I see
that one. You can flip them up. You can like flip your cards up and look at them. You can also, if I try to show you my cards, I have to push a button to actually be like, here's my cards. Otherwise it's just blank, but to me it looks like cards. And then the chips are fun because you can play with the chips and you can make little stacks like in real life. But if I want to bet, I can just throw them anywhere I want and they'll automatically land perfectly on the table. So that's always a fun thing. But yeah, we should try sometime. I think you at the very least it would be something to put in your rotation of poker games.
Okay.
It gets recommended all the time to new VR users that want sort of like a tabletop type experience or social experience. It gets ranked really high. And then Oculus just did a big update and overhauled their avatar system. So I don't know if you guys noticed this in your Quest 2s or if you've been in there recently, but go to your profile with this. I think it's version 28 that they just pushed to all the headsets, and the avatars are a little more, they're still cartoony and they're still Pixar-y, but they have a lot more like expression in them. So the eyes look around a little
like
more.
What Xbox did?
Yeah, kind of. And I made mine, and I was pretty happy with some of the options in there. But this is one of the like 5 or 6 games that supports the new avatar system. So before you fire it up, definitely make yourself look pretty in the game. So
cool,
good times.
Is that a pod?
That's a pod, baby.
Awesome.
Yeah,
well, I'm gonna go watch Stowaway.
Yeah, dude, I think you're gonna enjoy it. And then the other. Oh damn it! What was it? There was another movie that I was like, you're going to absolutely. Oh, King Arthur.
King Arthur.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's another one.
I think that's on Plex.
Yeah, you should bump that up on your list. Joel, thanks or go ahead.
I was going to say we like Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, totally. But Joel, thanks for joining us on the episode, and we're glad to have you back.
Good seeing you.
Yeah,
and I'm going to be starting my own stream here soon. Okay. So I don't even know what I'm going to call it, so I can't even give it a proper plug. But
hey, let us know. Let us know when it happens.
Start playing around with some stuff. Kevin, I'm thinking I got a second webcam, so I'm going to start doing some tarot for folks because people will pay you Venmo.
So
yeah,
try it out.
Yeah, I'll be excited to see that.
Yeah, I got a rabbit pelt and everything.
That's important. I hear, or I take it.
It just is a nice aesthetic.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. This might be more story than we have time. My dog got sprayed by a skunk. Maybe we'll just tease that for next time. Do a few minutes on that.
Oh no,
that was kind of fun.
Full story next week. Ouch.
Yeah.
Does it smell now? Do you smell it right now?
Not until next week.
All right.
No.
You know what? I would rather them get sprayed by a skunk than have a porcupine situation. I had a dog that had a porcupine situation, and it was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah, I'd imagine. That's a full vet visit.
It was like months later, I was still pulling out pussy quills from his like face and stuff. It was bad. And I was after the vet and everything. It's just like, keep an eye out. They'll work their way out eventually, you know?
If he got any shot into his genitalia, you could start calling the dog Star-Lord.
Why?
It's Peter Quill.
Oh!
It's not a good joke.
No, that was good.
I had to explain it, so it's not good.
It made Kevin angry.
Yeah, I think so. So look forward to a stinky story from Truthfully next week. Joel, hopefully we can get you back. We always love having you on. You're welcome whenever. And thanks everybody for listening. Make sure you check out the website if you want to engage further. We go every Sunday, typically 8:00, but it wiggles around. So if you subscribe to us on Twitch and follow us, and turn your notifications on, you'll know when we go live. Thanks to the folks that joined us in Twitch this week. That's Blitz and Captain Awesome. Captain Awesome, thanks, buddy. I think that's a Rod Puckett. But for me, Joel, Kevin, Joe, Carl, stay safe, wear your mask, get vaxxed.
Be positive online.
Yeah, don't say racial slurs online, even if you really want to.
Don't talk about golf pants.
Ever. Yep. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week. Or go ahead, Kevin. You got something?
Unless sometimes it's okay if you're singing. It's okay. If you're doing karaoke and impersonating a black person, it's okay to say it.
Yeah, Kevin's right.
Go on.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good week. We'll see you next Sunday for episode 185. Podcast. Right now.